The Moscow method is a prioritization technique that is widely used in project management, particularly in agile frameworks, to manage requirements, features, and tasks. The acronym, Moscow, stands for must have, should have, could have, and won't have, with each category representing a different level of priority for the items being considered. The must have category denotes the critical requirements that are non-negotiable and essential for the project's success. These are the elements without which the project would fail to meet its objectives or provide value to the stakeholders. The should have category contains important requirements that are not as critical as the must have items, but they are highly desirable. These features should be included if possible, but their absence will not necessarily endanger the overall project. Could have refers to features or tasks that are nice to have but are not essential. These elements are generally considered low priority and are included if there is extra time, resources, or capacity to implement them without negatively affecting the core goals of the project. Finally, the won't have category includes items that are explicitly excluded from the scope of the project for the current time, either because they are deemed unnecessary, too costly, or outside the project's objectives. This method provides a clear framework for making decisions about what to focus on, balancing stakeholder needs, available resources, and time constraints. By categorizing project tasks and requirements in this way, teams can ensure that they focus on delivering the highest value features first, while keeping expectations aligned and manageable. The Moscow method also helps to avoid scope creep, as stakeholders are more likely to agree to a well-defined scope when they understand what is being prioritized and what is not. This clarity can also aid in negotiations and in setting realistic timelines, as it helps teams and stakeholders understand which features or requirements are non-essential and can be deferred, or perhaps eliminated entirely, without significant impact. While Moscow is often associated with agile project management and software development, it is versatile and can be applied to any type of project, from construction to marketing, where there are competing priorities and limited resources. It is a simple but effective way of organizing and prioritizing tasks in a transparent and collaborative manner. In practice, the Moscow method can be used iteratively, with priorities shifting as the project progresses, new information becomes available, or stakeholder needs change. During each project phase, teams can reassess the categorization of each requirement or task, ensuring that the focus remains on delivering the most valuable work first. The technique is also particularly useful when managing large, complex projects that involve multiple stakeholders with differing needs and expectations. It allows project managers to facilitate discussions around trade-offs and make decisions that are aligned with the project's overall goals. Additionally, the Moscow method can be instrumental in risk management, as it helps teams identify the critical components of the project and mitigate the risks associated with their delay or failure. By emphasizing the most important requirements and separating them from less essential tasks, teams can prioritize their efforts on those aspects that carry the greatest potential for project success. The Moscow method is also beneficial when dealing with competing requests or when there are disagreements about what should be delivered. It provides a clear, objective framework for decision-making, which helps ensure that everyone involved in the project is on the same page. Furthermore, it enables teams to have better control over the scope of the project and its deliverables, reducing the risk of overspending or overextending resources. Moscow's flexibility allows for both top-down and bottom-up input in the prioritization process. Stakeholders, team members, and subject matter experts can all provide valuable insights into the importance of specific requirements, making the process more inclusive and collaborative. The method's effectiveness is heightened when there is strong communication among all stakeholders and a clear understanding of the project's goals. However, the success of Moscow heavily relies on how well the team can define the categories and ensure that they are applied consistently across the project. If the categories are not clearly understood or if priorities shift too frequently without proper justification, the method can lose its effectiveness. Therefore, it is important for teams to continuously review and refine their understanding of what constitutes a must have, should have, could have, or won't have, in relation to the project's objectives. Additionally, while Moscow offers an organized approach to prioritization, it is important to recognize that it is not a one-size-fits-all solution. The context in which it is applied plays a crucial role in its success. Different types of projects may require adjustments to the method to accommodate specific constraints or requirements. For example, in some cases, it may be necessary to break down the categories further or to use additional frameworks to address particular project needs. Similarly, when using Moscow in a fast-paced, iterative environment, such as agile software development, the categories may need to be regularly revisited as the project evolves. This continual reprioritization ensures that the project remains flexible and adaptable, a critical feature of agile methodologies. Moscow can also be helpful in managing stakeholder expectations, as it creates a shared understanding of which features or requirements are critical and which are negotiable. By discussing and agreeing on priorities early in the project, it becomes easier to handle scope changes or unexpected delays, as stakeholders already have a clear understanding of the trade-offs involved. This transparency fosters trust and collaboration, reducing the likelihood of misunderstandings or dissatisfaction down the line. However, it is important for project managers to remain flexible when using Moscow, as unforeseen circumstances, such as shifts in the market, technological advancements, or changes in the client's business needs, can alter the priority of certain features or tasks. Regularly reviewing and revising the prioritization ensures that the project stays aligned with its goals and adapts to external factors as necessary. Despite its strengths, there are also limitations to the Moscow method. One potential drawback is that it relies heavily on the subjective judgment of stakeholders to categorize requirements into the four groups, which could lead to differing interpretations of what should be prioritized. In order to mitigate this risk, it is essential for project managers